I'm just mixing all the characters because none of them have names. The leader of the loners is called Loner Leader. Hello and welcome to Blockbuster Review. If you don't know what that is, it is where I play a single game of Tetris Marathon and try to review a film before the blocks reach the top or till 150 lines. Spoilers are at line 50. And so The Lobster is a dark comedy, a satire, a commentary. It's something. Essentially, Colin Farrell plays this gentleman named David who has been recently divorced, separated from his wife, and he goes to a place called the Hotel. And the Hotel is a facility that basically puts people together in 45 days, or it will turn you into an animal of your choosing. And David picked a lobster. I don't even know how to talk about this movie. It's obviously a commentary on relationships in the modern time. I'm not 100% sure of its point throughout the movie. I did enjoy it. I did enjoy watching it. I felt like it was a very weird, fun time. But I'm not 100% sure what exactly it's saying. And I think it's one of those movies that's probably up for interpretation. But either way you slice it, it's just going to come out to, it was a very interesting experience to watch. Decent quality. I won't take away its quality at all. It's very well shot. The writing is very interesting. The jokes are very funny because they're very dry. And essentially, at this place, you got to meet somebody. You have to couple up. And if you don't, you will be turned into an animal. You can increase the amount of time you are not turned into an animal by hunting these loners that are out in the woods with the animals that have recently been single people, and you hunt them with tranquilizer darts, and you get extra days based on how many you catch. There is one woman who has been catching them like hotcakes, and she's been around for quite some time, just biding her time with the hunting of these loners. And David is trying to figure out how he's gonna, couple up with one of these people. He refuses the advances of one woman who is desperate, calls her the Biscuit Lady, who very quickly offers anal sex, like really quick. I don't know if it was like part of the commentary that it's people becoming physical right away just to be with somebody, if that was the point. I also don't know if the point of the movie is that the director/writer sees it as like people value relationships or being with someone so highly that they're willing to accept horrible things about them or lie to themselves and each other to do so, which is a very valid point. But the thing that kind of threw that for a loop is I thought this movie was about the facility. Here's a place where people who don't feel like they can get into a relationship, kind of, almost like immersive therapy, they're like, hey, I'm going to go to this place. If I can't get it done, they're going to turn me into a lobster. So it gets your ass in gear for your social anxieties. But no, it turns out that this movie's about a dystopian future because you can't exist in society unless you're in a couple. And there are people who voluntarily refuse to live in society and live out in the woods, the loners, but they refuse relationships within each other. So there was like these loners that eventually David ends up with because he has a dog with him that is his brother who failed to meet somebody, and he lies to partner up with this woman who is a sociopath and murders his dog to prove that he is not a sociopath and that they shouldn't be together, because to her it was more of a sin, it was more of a crime to lie about how much of a sociopath he is to be with her than it is to murder a dog. It is bonkers. But he ends up with these loners, where this is where I believe it's Rachel Weisz. I think that's who it is. I don't want to be wrong, but I can't look through the list quickly enough. This is where he meets the woman he falls for, but the rules of the loners say that you can't be in a physical relationship with other people with the loners. And I think it's because to them, it's like, then just join society where you're in a couple. And that's where I got confused. I was like, oh, shoot, so then what is this dude trying to say about the nature of relationships in this society? And then the big spoiler is the leader of these loners figures out that they're in a relationship, and as punishment, it's actually a she who's the leader. That was kind of sexist of me. I'm so sorry. I'm just mixing all the characters because none of them have names. The leader of the loners is called Loner Leader. The main character is the only one with a name, David. Oh my gosh, I blanked on his name. Wow. John C. Reilly. Jiminy Christmas. John C. Reilly's in this movie as the Lisping Man. That's his character name, the Lisping Man. It's great. But the Loner Leader blinds this love interest of David as punishment for starting this relationship between them. And the movie ends with them deciding, okay, we're going to run away and we're going to join society together because we're going to be a couple. But it seems like David is really hung up on the fact that they met and they started talking because they're both nearsighted, and now they don't share that in common. So he's trying to find something else that they share in common, despite the fact that he started a relationship with her that's been cultivated for many months, to where they almost have their own language. They have left this group to be together. And at the end of the movie, he is making the decision whether or not to blind himself so that they have something in common, or to leave her. And I mean, there's a reason it's a dark comedy. It's a very funny concept. Like, okay, well, I guess I'll have to blind myself so we have something in common, when we've already, courted and we're happy together. But I think that's the point. I think it's a kind of a commentary just on how relationships have changed into a checklist, and then people's hang-ups will prevent them from just being happy. There's a lot of moments in The Lobster to talk about. It's just I couldn't get to it in this thing, and it's something that I would love to talk to somebody about in a conversation. I can't really get my point across while oh, well, look at that. Go watch The Lobster. That's it. Bye.